going to see redemption win. And we're going to see every struggle end. And we are going to see every sickness end. And we are going to see homelessness end. And we are going to see political campaign season end. We are going to see fear end and hatred end and missiles and anger. And we're going to see a king and a kingdom. And it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. Although we see glimpses of it, don't we? I see glimpses of it as people run just to throw their arms around Michelle as they find out that she's been through something terrible. We see glimpses, man. We see glimpses of this kingdom. And it's here, but it's not yet, right? It's already, but it's not now. We see it, but we see through a glass dimly. And my prayer tonight that through these songs that we could just be like little spiritual Windex, so that when you look at Jesus, you might see him a little clearer for who he is. That the things of life that maybe have happened to you, that made you say, maybe he doesn't see me. You know, you walk through tragedy and you say, maybe he doesn't love me. Maybe he isn't for me. Maybe he's not as good as I thought he was. Maybe he doesn't see me like I thought he did. I mean, that happened to us too. We walked through some tragedy. We didn't lose houses and cars, but you know, Jeff's, our guitarist, his sister-in-law, she got stage 4 cancer this year. And she's 32, right? And it was like total blindside because she's, you know, fit. Like she goes to CrossFit. You guys know what CrossFit is? She can like bench press me, right? She's strong and she's got 3 kids. And when this happened, we started saying that. We started saying, God, do you see us? Like, I know that redemption isn't fully here yet, but God, come on. I want to see you heal this woman. I don't see why such a bad thing would happen to such a good person. And then God said back to me, why do you call Good Friday Good Friday? And I said, what? No, I was asking you a question. That's not how this works. He said, why do you call Good Friday Good Friday? I said, I don't understand why you're asking me this. And then I kind of felt like God said, because Good Friday is not the day when bad things happen to a good person. Good Friday is the day when the worst things happen to the best person. And you call that good. Why? At which point I said back to God, I'm too stupid to talk to you. No, I said, I don't know. And then I just had this little inkling in my spirit that I felt like God said, maybe you call Good Friday Good Friday because you know what happens on Sunday. And that we got to remember, man, when we read that story, we can feel kind of cocky because we're looking at the disciples running around. When Jesus gets crucified, all the disciples except John, they just scatter. They're just like, oh, no! And they just start running around, freaking out. And we read it and we're like, oh, stupid disciples. Don't they know what's going to come? The thing is, they didn't. Even though Jesus told them, I'm going to die, I'm going to be dead for 3 days, and I'm going to come back to life. We're like, what do you mean by that, Jesus? And the problem with our lives when we run into tragedy is we don't get to live our lives from the future. We're living them now. And so we're saying, I have hope, I believe, but God, I'm also full of doubt and questions, and you just got to help me out, right? And I just want to, maybe you're walking through something, maybe not as intense as some of the things I've described. Maybe you're walking through something right now, and you're saying, I just am so full of doubt and so full of questions. And can I just encourage you that Jesus' last words on the cross, or some of his last words, were, my God, why have you forsaken me? As if to say, even in your questions, Jesus has been there too. Jesus is enthroned in heaven, and he chased us all the way down into hell. There is nowhere we can go where he is not. Isaiah 43 says it this way. When Jeff's sister started chemotherapy, the doctor said it was going to be a year of chemotherapy. When she started chemo in February, we said we need to write her a song full of promises. that she can just latch onto as she sits there and gets the chemo, that she would sit there and she would listen to this song. And so we referenced Isaiah 43. You know what Isaiah 43 says? It says, fear not. Did you know that the most repeated command in the Bible is do not be afraid? 365 times. Can I just remind you that before it's your Christian duty to vote, it's your Christian duty to not live in fear? Fear not, I have called you by name. You are mine. I have redeemed you, says the Lord of Israel. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. They will not overwhelm you. When you pass through the fire, they will not consume you. I don't like that last part. I don't like the part when it says when you pass through the waters. I want that to say when you walk on top of the waters. When it says you will pass through the fire, I want that to say when I lead you around the fire. It's going to get hot, but not too hot. But he doesn't say that, does he? He says, when you walk through them, I will be with you. I don't know what's waiting for you out those doors tonight when you leave here. But I do know that wherever you're going, you're not going alone. So we wrote this song for Jeff's sister. She started listening to it. She listened to it February, March, April. The first week of May, we were recording our new record that came out last week. And we were recording this song. Ferris, that's his sister-in-law's name, she says, ooh, can I please come? Because I've been listening to it. It's really encouraged me. I would just love to be there in the studio when you record the real thing. We said, absolutely, come on. She comes from Vanderbilt Hospital. She got some tests done, and they text her test results. So she got some tests done. She comes over to the studio. She sits down on the couch the day we're going to record this song that we wrote for her, and she gets a text from Vanderbilt Hospital that says, ding, ding, hey, guess what? You're completely cancer-free as a baby. But I want to remind everyone that God can do miracles. But some of us have to wait a little bit longer than others. And so I want to say to you, and Michelle, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking for you, but it probably feels just crazy that we even knew that and that we're singing you a song. And now all these people are like, I'm seeing people are handing her money. They're like, girl, you need this. So I do not want to thwart that. If you want to give Michelle money, you go right ahead. But it can feel like a miracle when God just shows up and says, I see you. I know you. But some of us, we have to wait so long for that. And so I just want to remind you, I want a faith that believes God is always going to do a miracle. But I also want a faith that keeps believing he's good while I'm waiting on a miracle. We're going to play this song that we wrote for Jeff's sister. I hope it blesses you. This is called I Have This Hope. As I walk this great unknown, questions come and questions go. Was there purpose for the pain? Did I cry these tears in vain? I don't want to live in fear. I want to trust that you are near. Trust your grace can be seen in both triumph and tragedy.